Hi everyone! Today we will have a short review on my live account. So we will see what kind of trades I placed this week on Micro Gold and what went good and what went bad. Because some things actually went bad. So let's jump to it. So first, let's jump to general charts as we haven't looked at them for quite some time. And here is a caveat that actually not all the trades from the beginning of the drawdown are here. I am not unfortunately 1000 plus, I'm 100 because the drawdown was quite actually deep. And here some trades from the first and second day of the trading day are missing. I was having a problem importing them, and then afterwards they were duplicated. I deleted the first one, then I thought that deleted the first one, but then the second one appeared and I deleted the second one, and at the end like none of them appeared anymore ever again. So actually I lost some data here, but honestly I'm just $100 currently on plus. Just I want to still show you this because after I calmed down after the drawdown, I started to place rational trades and really look at the charts with calmness, with patience, and try to not overtrade and build the account slowly. So you can see here I had got quite a drawdown, and probably the previous day and the day before were even bigger. However, they are not here. Then I started a really nice grow, and then it's like bigger winners than the losses. However, still, as you can see here, which we'll talk about on Monday, this Monday, actually I went on a tilt, unfortunately. But I had the hard stop on the trade weight, so my maximum stop loss was $120. This price actually includes also commissions. So I was kicked out by TradeAway, so that way like I avoided actually way bigger drawdown, to be honest. I'm very thankful for that option in TradeAway. But in general, looking at the stats, we're having 54% of win, so that's quite good. It's above 50, and also my profit factor is currently 2.3, which is amazing. So I'm having really small losses and way bigger gains per trade, so that's great. And it's around $100 of a win, comparing to minus $43 of typical loss. And that's actually something that I really want to keep in, and something which I realized even looking now on that net daily profit and loss. I was very much here growing the account slowly, but I was growing because I was never allowing after the price went to the profits to get to the loss, which recently here I done it. So I was on 2 trades, one here and one here. That's why actually I overtraded here, where I was above $100, but I didn't profit on it because I wanted to give a bit of room for the trade, a bit of time to evolve, and well, it evolved to the wrong side. So unfortunately here I got losses. So this is interesting to see, like for the future, that maybe when I'm above $100, which kind of I'm maximum risking 100, I'm trying to risk like around $80 with one micro gold contract. So yeah, like if I'm above $100, I should place my stop loss on break even at that moment. And when we'll go to our favorite calendar, when we'll look at actually this account since the beginning, as I was telling you many times, here was the beginning of my live account, and that was so stressful. I really placed so many very unfortunate trades, and my brain was literally not functioning. Any like dollar of a loss was so big for me. I was not accepting even like minus $10 of a loss, which was bad, and I wasn't expecting that after like trading for such a long time on the prop firms. And even before, I mean, like that were small amounts of money, but the small amounts of money which I was trading before were not moving so fast as on futures with even one micro gold contract, because it was like literally the whole trade was minus $10 or plus $10 or even less. So that numbers terrified me on my real account a lot. However, as you can see, I took a break, I calmed down, and then I came back very strong in October, and I managed in November, and in that week, that trade was the break-even trade. So still I had got some losses, but I was way more picky with my trades, and here we have got my winning trade, which brought me to break-even. So to not mess up with my stats in TradeZilla, as you saw, I'm theoretically $1,000 on a plus, however I'm only just above 100. I decided that I will put all the trades up to getting back to the drawdown on a separate account in TradeZilla, and then I will load all the new trades in another account. In this way, the dollar amount will actually reflect my dollar amount on my account, and the stats will be way more cleaner. But before I will switch the before break-even trades, I want you to pay attention to time performance and duration performance. As we can see, I'm placing a lot of trades in the morning session, London session, or before, and I really like placing the trades, as you know, at 6 a.m. UK time. This is a really, really good time for a really nice, smooth trades on gold. And trade duration performance, I am getting back to holding longer. This is also why I'm having a bit more losses recently. But I am trying to hold between something like half an hour to maybe above 2 hours trades. Yeah, I had got obviously some of the beginning ones, which were kind of like 4-minute trades, but currently I am trying to hold them way longer. So now finally we're seeing all the trades after break-even trade. So we're seeing here that last week I placed a really nice trade of $147, which allowed me to have got this buffer and not getting back anymore to the drawdown, and that was really beneficial to have such a trade to go further up with some kind of positive trade. So I'm very happy about that. But this week, well, it didn't went well, because as you can see, on Monday I placed 3 trades, Tuesday 2 trades, Wednesday 1 trade, which was very badly executed. Today we're having Thanksgiving, and actually I thought that the markets are closed, and well, I allowed myself to actually sleep a bit longer, and I missed that 6 a.m. trade. Unfortunately, that would be $100 here, but well, this is what it is. And I'm recording it today because tomorrow I am on the way, so I am going back home for Christmas. So the whole December and some of January I will be back home, and this will be next week will be my week of traveling. So if I will place any trade tomorrow, I will update you here and will let you know. So to not prolong, let's jump and see what trades I placed on Monday. We're having 3 trades, all on gold as always on that account, and I placed a nice trade at 6 a.m. so the time when I said I am trading. Then I placed kind of a FOMO trade, and then afterwards I placed a revenge trade. So the first one, $12 on minus, and I am very, very mad at myself for that trade, because we're having 1, 2, 3, 4 touch points and then a break. So that was a perfect setup, really very, very good setup, and it was on 15-minute time frame. On 1 hour we're seeing very, very clean 4 touch points. So I was very happy when at 6 a.m. I jumped in. I jumped maybe slightly too early, slightly too late, like literally on the candle when it crossed, and then it pulled back very much on me. And then I was holding through it, holding until 7:15, and then my stop loss was under that candle, somewhere around that level. However, because it's winter, the winter is coming, I was kind of in my duvet wrapped in, and I was not paying so much attention, and I had got already close position window open, and my mouse was just hovering above that close confirming closure button, and unfortunately when I grabbed the mouse I clicked that button and I was like, no, why? And yeah, I got kicked out here, and the next candle was the winning candle, and the next another one, and yeah, it went way higher. I mean, look at that. To be honest, I probably would be kicked out at that level, but still, even that level would be $200, so that's a big win for me when my average is something like $140. So unfortunately, I'm very mad at that execution. It's kind of my fault that I executed it with such a clumsiness that, yeah, I mean, okay, like I am cold and like doing something completely else in the meantime, but then maybe I should not have that window pop out for closing position there, because the other day I also closed the position accidentally just by clicking close position instead of confirming moving the stop loss. So I think I should not have that window open if I'm really not closing the position, but just from the habit I am always having it somewhere in my screen in trading view in case I need to close it fast, but that is very bad habit, like you see. And the next trade which I placed, which was a FOMO trade, I placed here around 10-11 a.m. And I was telling you so many times that I feel like at that time very often we're having a consolidation, so I should not place the trades before 12 p.m. and wait for that move before the New York Open. So we can see here that on the 5-minute time frame we're having 1, 2, 3 touch point, trendline break, and then here we're having the first point, the highest point, and then we're having a pullback. This is a lower low and this is lower high, and then we're going lower, so we also crossed that point. So at that moment I decided to place a trade for short, and well, it went straight away to the minus, and then it was in a consolidation for quite some time until the candle just poke out and kick me out. Well, later on actually the price went even higher, so it's okay. And because we had got the consolidation before, my exit was based on the previous lower high, the only lower high that we had. So when we crossed the previous lower high, I decided to close. And as I'm saying, this was a very FOMO trade. I was seeing that move. I entered here, or I actually entered, I think here somewhere here. Anyway, so I saw that move, and I saw that move, and that move, and yeah, it's going higher and higher and higher without me when I'm on minus $12. So that was definitely a FOMO trade. Fear of missing out. Fear that I am not in that move. I want maybe like the leg, the opposite. Maybe this is too high. Maybe we're reversing and we will now like tank. Well, no, not the right time. Not with the trade. This was just a pullback for another move up. As we can see, it went higher. So well, and the last trade was actually a revenge trade. So here I got minus $78 and then another minus $34. That one was very fast. So as the previous trade we were having on 5-minute time frame, and it was this short from here, and then as you know, like I got out here on that candle, then I decided on the next candle, yeah, I'm taking it. Oh my god, it's going short. Like it crossed actually now the 15-minute time frame here. So we're going short, and nope. And this is just minus $34 because I was kicked out by liquidation by my minus $120 maximum stop loss for a day, and that kicked me out. Fortunately, because as you see, like I started to place irrational trades like that. So now Tuesday, and we're having 2 trades. However, one was more of a panic trade, and well, why it was a panic? So it was the last day before the contract switch, and I was still in the old contract that ticker MGC. It was still within the MGC from December, and the contract was switching, I think, to MGC for January. And I wanted to place a trade with my broker with Trade8, and as with Apex, I didn't got any problems like this. Here I was getting the notification that I am liquidated, that I cannot place the trade, and I was looking at Trade8 like, what happened? Why? Like, come on, my move is happening. I literally panicked, especially that it was a very nice trade. Here we had got 1-2 touch points, then already here there was a consolidation and it was kind of like starting to break. This is the highest point, then here we're having lower high, and then we were going lower. So I was like, yeah, I'm shorting, finally I'm shorting. And I really wanted to place the trade somewhere around here because the candle went down and then it went back and then it crossed again. It's like, oh my god, I want to place the trade. However, yeah, my broker was like, no, you're liquidated. But it didn't tell me the reason why. And I was like, why? And then I saw like, oh yeah, contract switch. And I switch the contract to the new contract, so even that it was one day before the switch, you could already trade in the new contract, and I placed this trade in a new contract and that was executed, and I was like, yes. But then I was kind of like, well, but this is kind of like too late. I should have entered there, not here, so maybe I should take it on another pullback. So that's why I closed it and waited for the perfect entry after the pullback. It was exhausting, like looking at it like, no, like that was my trade. And I switched here to 5-minute time frame, and half an hour later, as you can see, like entry on the prop firm I placed actually here, and then I was trying to place, I think I placed the one on my Trade8 live account somewhere here, and then I was waiting, okay, there is a pullback, and when it crossed here, I was like, okay, I'm going I'm going short, and then we were here going down very nicely. That candle, no, we went back, then another candle very nicely going up till this point, and no, we're going almost to break even. And as you can see, like my safety line, this line was crossed here, but I was giving enough wiggle room. I was like, no, I am waiting until the break even. I am holding it, and fortunately it went down. So this was actually the next pullback after that one, because I am very often holding the stop loss before I will see another pullback, another proper pullback. So this was the stop loss at the beginning, was here. I think I moved it till here, but it wasn't like a convincing pullback for me. And then I was expecting a pullback, especially that we're on 5-minute time frame, the proper pullback, and that one happened here. And then when I saw that the price is going down, then I moved properly the stop loss still here. We can also see that the price here was testing that level, so it would make a lot of sense for the price to hit that line from the other side and then melt down. So that pullback was very much anticipated from me, and it happened. However, holding from I think as we're having $126 here, then I think here was 100, just slightly above $100, and then going back to complete break even. So this is what I'm saying, like I am trying to learn now how to hold and how to place my stop loss from one pullback to another, and hold longer and capitalize on bigger moves. So here I closed because we were having another support resistance level. However, the price melted even more, like the double. But I was very happy with that trade, that I held through that pullback and managed to capitalize on my take profit. And then Friday, actually the hardest day to talk about, because I broke my rules. I didn't exit the trade on my stop loss, and I moved my stop loss to actually risk all or nothing. So that was a very bad trade, and it's kind of like because I was trying to learn how to hold from one pivot to another, to wait for that another pullback, and I kind of started to wait for that pullback forever, and it never happened. So that was a huge mistake. I got hopes instead of being fearful of losing money. So on the higher time frame, we can see that we had got a huge move up on Monday, and then on Tuesday we were consolidating, and then this is Wednesday, and here it's not visible, but here is a contract switch, and that created a huge gap on the new contract, and I didn't know actually how to deal with that gap. And this is how my charts were looking with the bid adjustment turned on, while this is how they were looking without bid adjustment. So we can see that there was a huge gap, and that is pretty normal for a contract change. However, I didn't know how the market should behave and where I should put my take profit and how it would impact me. So I was trying to place a take profit. There was another candle further there, but above those candles, and I was anticipating a quite big move, and I was ready for it. So as I was anticipating such a big move, I was aware that probably there will be a higher pullback, especially that on 15-minute time frame we're having here the highest point, here's the lower high, and then I entered when we started to cross that latest lower low, and I was on 5-minute time frame entering to the trade, and then we went slightly here lower, like in that area, and then higher, we made a small pullback, and then lower. And for a second I will turn this one off completely because we're not seeing it clearly, but that point, that pullback, it was so small that it was not visible at all on the 15-minute time frame, so I didn't want to take it into account as my stop loss. I had got for the time my stop loss around those wicks, like we're seeing that there are like a lot of wicks here, so just above those wicks, around 4,196.97, and that pullback, yep, it was above that pullback with quite some wiggle room. And then I was holding, we went down, that was quite a win here, I think above 100, 150 even maybe, and then we were consolidating. I was not even taking into account those wicks, especially if we look at the 15-minute time frame. There's no proper pullback, there's no pullback like that we're having like 2 or 3 candles to the other direction and then going down. And then we were creating that pullback here, and then when we're seeing that wick was at 7:45, just before the 8 a.m. and this is that wick here, and I was like, oh my god, yes, we created the pullback, and I put my stop loss just above that wick, so kind of it stayed in the same place as originally, where's the blue line, and I was so happy, like look, it respected it, it went and literally didn't touch it, went to those wicks, and then it reversed. And then 8 a.m. happened, and then when I saw that 8:05 on London Open candle, I panicked because I am not such a fan, I would say, of big movements. And when I saw that big movement, it was like, oh my god, panic attack. Literally, I cannot explain what I was doing, but definitely I moved my stop loss from here. I will keep that line, but I moved it till literally 1 tick above that candle. It was 4,203.3, and that highest one was 3.2, and I was just lucky that the price reversed and I closed in my initial stop loss position. But that move, like I was playing with the fire. I literally panicked. It was kind of like, oh no, it's going up, but maybe like this is another pullback like that, maybe this is just like testing that level, okay, maybe it's testing 200, oh no, maybe it's going higher. And then we're having here 2 wicks here and here, and that's why I placed, I think those ones or the lower ones, I think the lower ones, I was taking into account the lower ones, because the upper ones I would be anyway liquidated by minus $120 limit on trade of 8, so I was just placing it around those wicks and slightly higher to be above this round number. And I was just lucky that like I was seeing that the price was having hard time to break that level, and yeah, fortunately it went down and I broke on my initial stop loss place, but that was a very badly executed trade. So what I learned from this, definitely I should just keep my stop loss and trust my stop loss where I placed it since the beginning, as I analyzed it before. I analyzed why there were those wicks, why I placed in this position. We can see that that candle actually is not going higher than my stop loss, so it was a perfectly placed stop loss. Just afterwards I panicked and I had got this bias that this trade will go way lower, and well, you can see it didn't. And for the end, I want to show you actually what kind of trade I missed again at 6 a.m. today. We can see that the price was going down, and then it made the lowest point, then it made a lower high here, and then at 6 a.m. it crossed that really nice trend line until 8 a.m., 8 even 45, it was going up. So that was the move that I would take. That would cost me, probably I would enter somewhere around here, so $76 of maximum loss, which is within my limit of $100 maximum loss, even above $80, so that's great. Probably I should have capped that stop loss below that candle here. So okay, $85, and maybe I'm guessing, like, I'm not sure if I would hold it over the 8 a.m. candle. This was the 8 a.m. I mean, like, we're seeing that there was a huge push, so probably I would, yeah, close slightly higher. So it was a $100 trade, $100 trade, which unfortunately I missed. But yeah, the markets were supposed to be closed today, so I don't know. But it is what it is. We'll try next time. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you want to see how actually I was setting up the live account, check out this video here. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget about Black Friday deals, as they are still on, so check out the links below. Bye!